Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing good. Welcome to the fourth lecture of Strength of Materials part 1. So in this session we are going to cover lateral strains and Poisson's ratio. Take an example of a bar, rectangular bar. If it is a rectangular bar, how will it look like in 3 dimensions? Something like this, right? Something like that. Now suppose consider these areas which are in vertical plane, and on those areas we are applying some normal load P. When I say normal load, that means the load is perpendicular to the area under study, upon which we are trying to consider, at that cross section we are trying to consider stresses. So that area of interest, at that area if we are applying normal load, perpendicular, the load that is perpendicular in perpendicular direction to the area, those are normal loads. And in this case, if this is the section that we are discussing about, from that section material is on this side, but action of this force is on the opposite side, that is pulling. It is pulling this particular cross section or the area away from the body. That means stretching action, that is tensile force, tensile in nature. So this P is basically a tensile load. Okay, right? Fine. Now it will obviously lead to tensile stresses. Why? Because this is not a single force that is acting. If it was single force, this bar was free to move. But on opposite side, same equal and opposite force is also acting, which is resisting movement of this body. So earlier what we have studied, when there is certain restriction in the motion of a body, and also force is acting in that direction, then obviously stresses will arise. So now by applying that methodology here, we need to understand in addition what is lateral strain. So here what is happening when some stretching action is happening on that bar, so what happens, this will come forward, it will elongate. When we stretch something like rubber band, what will happen? Its length will increase, right? In that whichever direction we are applying, in that direction length is increasing. But you observe here, is this drawing correct? If you only observe length, it is correct, but overall 3 dimensions when you observe, it is not correct. Why it is so, you will come to know just now. Say if initial length was Li, then the elongation is delta L, final length, the total length will be Lf, which is equals to basically Li plus delta L. Now why I said this is wrong is because this area that we are getting cannot be same as this original area. Why so? This A dash, it will be A dash, and A dash will be less than A. Why so? Why? Because this part that is being extended, this delta L, which corresponds to this delta L, that part that we are not adding in addition to what is existing there, right? We are not adding any new material there, new part. We are stretching the same part to the extra length. But where from will it get that material when we are not adding? It will compensate with the height and breadth. They will sacrifice their dimension, they will reduce, and that reduction will help this length increase by stretching. So when length is stretching, length final, where Lf is greater than initial, that means it is stretching, it is under tensile load in the longitudinal direction. Along the length, it is longitudinal direction. So say for example, if it is stretching, then automatically final breadth and final height are reducing, right? That means area of cross section, what is area of cross section? B into H. Initial case, original breadth was this, original height was this. Final case, the final breadth is this, final height is this. When B and H both are small, then what is happening? This area, original area, is greater than final area or A dash, because this is also small, this is also small. 5 into 4 is obviously greater than 4 into 3, right? Just for example, I'm showing you that something like this is happening. So that much variation will not be there anyhow, but still to make you understand, I'm just showing that. Okay, so original area will be greater than final area, in which case when it is the length is being stretched, right? So basically what is happening, what I just now I said, initial breadth is becoming BF, final height, initial height is becoming HF. That is basically what is happening. There is some delta B change in breadth, which is BF minus original breadth, which is obviously less than 0. Also there is change in height, which is basically final height minus initial height, that is also less than 0. Why? This is smaller than this, this is smaller than this, right? So, and this breadth and height, what are the directions of this breadth and height? This is horizontal breadth and this is horizontal vertical. Sorry, this is what height is vertical, in vertical direction height is measured, in horizontal direction breadth is measured, but these both are perpendicular to the length direction. So in the direction in which this particular force is applied, that load is applied, perpendicular to that direction, whether it is vertical direction, whether it is within the horizontal direction, those both directions are perpendicular to the force direction, the direction in which load is applied. In those directions, that vertical and that horizontal one, which are perpendicular to the originally applied load direction, in those direction, vertical and this one, this breadth direction and height direction, if there are any changes in those directions, that is in the breadth direction and height direction, if there are any changes, like what I am saying here, changes, this will lead to lateral strain. Why I say lateral strain? Because those directions which are perpendicular to the longitudinal direction or the load applied may not be longitudinal direction, the directions which are perpendicular to load direction, those directions are called lateral directions, and strains happening in those directions are called lateral strains. I'm sorry, strains occurring in those directions are called lateral strains. Breadth is in lateral direction, height is in lateral direction to the length. Why I am saying to the length? Why I am saying to the with respect to length? Because load is being applied in the length direction. That's why breadth and height are in lateral directions for that particular bar. And when they are in lateral directions, any strain that is introduced in breadth and height will become lateral strains. How will you consider this lateral strain? How will you calculate this lateral strain? Again, strain, the formula is same. That formula is same. What is formula for strains? Particularly normal strains. So, strain, say for example, this longitudinal direction is x, this vertical direction is y, and this horizontal but out of plane is z, out of the plane of this paper or screen, that is z. Then epsilon x, anyway we have delta L by L initial, and this is along the length, that's why it is longitudinal strain, right? In the same way, it has two lateral strains, one in y and one in z direction. So let me have some space here. So normal strain in y direction, that is height direction, that is delta h by initial height. Similar way, normal strain in z direction, that is horizontal but perpendicular to the x axis, that is breadth direction, delta b by b. So these both are lateral strains. lateral strains, right? Now you might have understood what are lateral strains. Okay, observe one thing. If this strain is due to tensile load, then what will tensile load do? It will stretch, right? That means stretching means delta L is positive. It is not pushing backwards. So stretching means if from this length it is being stretched in this direction. So if we take this as 0, that is base value, from that it is being stretched, from that cross section it is being stretched, that means delta L is greater than 0. This length value will anyway be 0, so positive value divided by positive value, this overall is positive. Okay, so under tensile load longitudinal strain will be positive. Now due to that, what is happening for lateral strains? Height is reducing, so delta H is less than 0. Breadth is reducing, delta B less than 0. So these numerators in both these equations are less than 0. But denominators H and B are greater than 0. They are dimensions. So negative value by positive value, which is less than 0. So this is also less than 0. Overall value is less than 0. That ratio is less than 0. That means lateral strains are negative when in a longitudinal direction. If the load is tensile in nature, then length will be increasing. That effect shows in breadth and height as breadth and height decreasing. Due to that, lateral strains are negative. So in neat and clean way, if you want to understand these things in a clear and proper way, let me just clear the things. Okay, so basically then what will be the right diagram? Earlier I told that the diagram was wrong. Why? Because when it is stretching, area cannot remain same, area will reduce. Why? Because breadth and height were reducing. So this is original breadth, this is original height, this is original length. The new diagram will be something like this. So see, this is final height, this is final breadth. This was original one, this is final. This is original height, this is final height, right? Now what I told, if load is in this direction, in x direction, this is x, this is y, and this is z. So if load is in x direction, then that x will be longitudinal direction. We can call it as longitudinal direction. I mean, in whichever direction that load is acting, that will be longitudinal direction. For that, y comma z will be lateral directions. Summarizing the things, lateral directions. Now for both, when we take correspondence from them, longitudinal strain will be delta L by L and lateral strains will be delta H by H and delta B by B. This will be greater than 0, these both will be less than 0, right? So these are lateral strains, this is longitudinal strain. Very simple. Okay. Now coming to Poisson's ratio, just in the last session or last slide we have seen that if there is a bar, something like this, then we have seen that sorry, don't mind mistakes in my drawing, understand what I am trying to say. So if there is certain load acting like this in normal directions to the ends of the bar, then what we have discussed, if this is x-axis, if this is y-axis, if this is z-axis, then this direction which this load is acting, we call it as longitudinal direction, and this y and z we call it as lateral direction, and strains happening in those lateral directions are lateral strains, and strain in longitudinal direction is called longitudinal strains. And we told that lateral strains are less than 0 and longitudinal strains are greater than 0 when the load acting in the longitudinal direction is tensile in nature. When it is tensile, then that is right. These things are correct. If it is compressive, this gets opposite. Lateral strain will be positive, longitudinal strain will be negative. Anyhow, now to combine them together under a ratio terminology, there is something called this Poisson's ratio, which we denote by mu. That mu is equals to originally lateral strain by longitudinal strain, lateral strain by longitudinal strain. But the thing to remember here is this ratio is becoming negative. Why? When longitudinal strain is positive, lateral strains are negative. That is under tensile load in longitudinal direction. If in case it is compressive, then longitudinal will become negative and lateral will become positive. That means if one term is positive, the other term is negative. If lateral strain is positive, this is negative. If this is positive, this lateral strain is negative. So either one of them is always negative. To make this ratio positive, we will apply minus sign, and we consider that this mu, this Poisson's ratio, is always greater than 0. Right? Just to make it as a positive case, this thing as positive case, we are applying minus sign. Now formula for mu is this, minus of lateral strain by longitudinal strain. Now generally for general materials, for engineering materials, just as I said now, it will always be greater than 0 for engineering materials in the sense those materials which when stretched in one direction will get compressed in other directions. I mean reduce, the dimension in other directions, lateral directions will reduce. So as a compensation, why? Stretching in one direction means elongating in one direction, so automatically dimensions in lateral directions will reduce to compensate elongation in opposite direction, so perpendicular direction. So anyway, this for engineering materials, mu will be between 0 to 0.5 for all engineering materials. Okay, but in some exceptional cases where which we call it as a special materials, they are out of scope for study of strength of materials. But anyhow, I want to let you know that there are certain other kind of materials, special materials, that are being developed, which will increase in every direction. They will not reduce. Whether you are applying load in longitudinal or applying in lateral directions, whether in x direction or y direction or z direction, irrespective of that, whether stretching is happening in x direction or y direction or z direction due to the load applied, irrespective of that, all other dimensions will also increase. What does it mean in case of special materials? Anyway, you are stretching length direction, right? So L will anyway increase. Along with that, this breadth will also increase, this height will also increase. That means Both lateral strains and longitudinal strains are positive in that case. When both are positive, what is this mu becoming? Minus of positive by positive, that is minus of some positive ratio, that is negative ratio. Mu has become a negative value. So for special materials, mu will be less than 0, and as of now that is being achieved up to -1. Okay, so overall, for including for special materials and for engineering materials, what we basically can call is general materials. For general materials, -1 less than mu less than 0.5, right? Okay, that's all for this session. Thank you.